Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This one we're going to be taking a look at Gunther with gear, and please don't say in the comments like you could hit harder doing XYZ. Gunther hits super hard if you want to do a bunch of clicks, take risks, that kind of stuff. The gear isn't really going to change that much, right? It's really not. So it helps if I'm on the right screen here. So basically what I'm interested in is, does the gear make him faster, safer, more efficient, right? So this is the build I have for you guys to not have to choose any gems, not have to recycle with his gear, and you can see how hard it hits, right? Because you don't, if you're doing the other build, you really don't need the gear. If you want to take risks and do that stuff. So the gear increases the multiply strength by 5. All right. We are not going to choose any gems in this. So we're going with the double power bomb, 6 MP, makes 16 random gems into multiply gems of strength 13. The gear makes it 18. Thunderous chop, 7 MP green, 879k damage, increase the strength of your multiply gems by 10. So that brings it up to 28, and then we're destroying 14 of them, 14 of the 16. So that's a lot of gems, right? So 6, 7, 7 MP. This gives us 4 and 4. Breeze gives us 6 green, 5 red, and our turn gives us 7 green and 6 red, charging everything. Sorry, my cat is really making this difficult today. And then we're using Zombie Bailey for multiply gems do 60% more and red gems do 40% more. And Zombie Chelsea for green gems 40% and multiply gems 60%. For the strap, I have 100% strap. And then I have the Ministry Business Ultimate Plate. So we're getting 100% to all gem damage when we make the multiply gems. And then the Nightmare Plate. So now we're also buffing the yellow gems 100%. You could use other ones, but I thought yellow was the best because it added 100. So we have a good mix of gems. And we're going against Rock because he doesn't have multiply reversal, but he does have the big boy metals. So this should give you a really good indicator. The great thing about this is you don't have to choose and all of that jazz, and it's really straightforward. It does increase the MP on this move, which I really don't particularly care for because it adds another layer of reversal. So MP up and multiply reversal you're worried about. And then you just break your gems, right? It's super efficient, and in this case, that's 92 million damage, right? So the gear does allow you to play him faster and safer, for sure. Much more interesting this way. Gets him into a little bit better category, I think, versus just techs that can hit hard, especially when you have like Ilya. My Ilya in Showdown is hitting like 500 million regularly this Showdown, just for example. And he can break 300 million no problem. Ilya can. He can 2-click for nearly 300. It's usually like 250 million, I think, or more. So like, yeah. But this definitely gets him into like better territory. You can see 85 million there, with one of them being a loot box. We missed a green. But it's much more efficient, and I think this is interesting simply because, like, if I have to play Gunther, or like if you're a Gunther Mark and you want a good Gunther, but you still like fast, safe gameplay, this is certainly a better loop, right, to me, than having to do any of the choosing. So it is quite a good gear for him. And I would be interested in obtaining it not on this prize wall, but maybe later if it ends up in the gear loot, or on a wall that is way more inexpensive, like not as much as a crazy good plate. But I'll run a few so you guys can see the variance. It looks like we got 2 loot box gems there, and we still hit 99 because we got some greens and reds, right? So it gives you a pretty good indicator that he's, you know, pretty solid this way. And as you can see, like I said, much, much, much easier to run, at least in my opinion. We'll just do one more. I think. Maybe one more after this too. I don't know. Though this is going to be a really good one. So we'll just call it with this. Because you guys have seen like a few different runs. This one's going to be quite good. Yeah, that's 119 million. So yeah, I think, you know, this, with his gear this way, I think is the way to run him, to be honest, just because it's way easier, way faster. It's kind of like Showboat Flare esque, right? In that you're making a bunch of multiplies and breaking random ones. So let me know what you guys think. Like I said, I'm not doing the other builds with this gear because he can obviously hit harder. It's 5 bigger on the multiply. But like, what's the point when he's already hitting hard enough when you're looping stuff and all of that? You don't need to know how hard he hits. You know it's hard enough. So the question is, to me, will the gear make him more efficient, safer, faster? And I think the answer is yes. So let me know what you think in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and remember to like, subscribe, and share because that really helps me out. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching. Good luck out there. Yeah, it's pretty solid with the gear. Excellent rework in general, and the gear definitely helps for this build.